Morning everybody, Mike Niemiec here with some early morning grain and oilseed comments for Thursday, September 24th. Somewhat of a mixed trade overnight, but last I looked, getting a little bit defensive. We got the wheat prices down around 3 cents, corn down around 2, beans down a penny, meal and oil markets unchanged. In a little bit here, we'll be getting our weekly export sales numbers, and obviously that'll be of importance going forward in here, as we are currently running behind USDA projections and versus a year ago. So that'll be of importance going forward in here. Other news out overnight, Russia looks like they're going to go and lower their export duty for wheat. So that'll be more competition for the U.S. in the export arena. Also saw where China futures prices for corn were making new 5-year lows, or at 5-year lows, and a lot of that has to do is they're looking at harvesting a record crop in conjunction with having large stockpiles of corn, and they're looking to try to rid themselves of that. So once again, competition both by the Russians, the Chinese having corn, once again makes our sales numbers somewhat important going forward. Also, speaking of supplies, we continue to have favorable weather here in the U.S. We're harvesting our corn and bean crops. Yields are coming in probably most likely in line of where the USDA is currently forecasting the corn yield. But it looks like the trade is trying to surmise that maybe the bean yield could be a little bit larger than what the USDA is currently forecasting. More will be known on that when we come up to the October report. Speaking of reports, we're also gearing up. The trade is also gearing itself up for the quarterly grain stocks and wheat production number next week on Wednesday. Trade guesses are for the wheat production number to be somewhat unchanged where the USDA is currently forecasting, but up versus a year ago. And our quarterly stocks for corn and beans pretty much near where the USDA is currently forecasting the ending stocks for the 14-15 marketing year. But those two are also up versus a year ago. And the wheat stocks for the first quarter are looking to be upwards to around 250 million bushels larger than a year ago. So when we look at all this news, be it the weather and U.S. harvesting and or our export sales pace to date being behind USDA projections, and or this upcoming quarterly stocks report, we are having quite a bit of supplies around and struggling with the demand side of the ledger. Funds are net short the wheat, the soybeans, and the soybean oil, still net long the corn and the meal. But all in all, they don't have sizable net short positions, and thus going forward in here with the fundamental news, still looks like it's going to be tough to keep wheat prices sustained with a rally above $5, $4 corn, and $9 beans. Once again, this is my opinion, not that of ADM or ADMIS. Thank you.